The first person to break the startled stillness at a funeral was a U.S. Army general, and you're really pointing a gun at him? And it came from a 12-year-old child standing next to his mother. The folded flag shook in her hands, not because of fear, but rather out of rage that was repressed beneath layers of discipline. A fallen hero was lying in front of General Alana Brooks, who stood tall in her spotless white army uniform against the sea of black. The young patrol officer screamed, "Drop the flag and get on your knees," his voice cracking with nerves and confusion as his gun locked on her back. The crowd around him froze. Gasping soldiers stood motionless, and Alana didn't move an inch. Her calm and deadly voice cut through the tension like a razor. "You have 3 seconds to lower your weapon, officer." The rookie's hand trembled, and his eyes darted between the flag in her arms and the uniform she wore. Somewhere in his mind, a war was raging, his training versus his bias, but he didn't drop the weapon just 6 minutes earlier. Everything had been quiet and peaceful, with dozens of chairs lined a shaded clearing at Arlington full of grieving families. A single trumpet waited to play, an honor guard stood alert, and taps were played. The casket of Sergeant Kyle Henderson, covered in stars and stripes, was prepared to be honored by the commanding officer under whom he served. That officer was General Alana Brooks, who had assured Kyle's mother that she would bring her son home, and she did. However, as soon as the black woman stepped forward wearing a white dress and blues, the patrol officer stationed nearby noticed something suspicious and failed to notice the rank, the ribbons, or the sacrifice. He said, "Get on your knees," more loudly this time, as though the shame that was engulfing him could be erased by noise. "That's Major General Brooks, are you insane?" a colonel in the front row exclaimed. The 6 boots arrived after the police failed to hear him or refused to lower his rifle. The lead stepped into view with an unreadable face. "You're pointing a firearm at a decorated U.S. general, and you're one breath away from ending your career. Or worse," the officer turned startled and overwhelmed back off if I'm following protocol. Navy SEALs in formal dress stood up from the crowd, silently controlled lethal, and without even drawing a weapon. They didn't speak. They moved like wolves. And 3 from the right and 3 from the left, all closed in with terrifying calm. Another SEAL pulled off his cap and glared. "That woman pulled me out of a burning Humvee under fire, while bleeding, while dragging 2 Marines behind her. You don't speak her name, you salute it." Still, the gun didn't lower Dalton, the team's medic. Came from behind with one fluid move. He disarmed the rookie, handed the gun to security, and stared into the kid's panicked eyes. "You didn't just point that at a soldier, you pointed it at every sacrifice this place stands for." Alana finally turned. Her expression wasn't rage, it was something far heavier, disappointment. "You saw my skin before you saw my stars." She said, "You saw a woman before. You saw a warrior, you saw a threat instead of a leader." The rookie opened his mouth. "I didn't know, no." She said, "You didn't want to know." The SEALs stepped back, security moved in, not with force, but with gravity. The crowd parted. No one cheered, no one clapped, just the wind rustling the flags and the shame clinging to that officer's back as he was led away. And then the ceremony resumed. Alana approached, knelt next to Kyle's coffin, gave his mother the folded flag in shaky hands, and muttered, "He was brave. I swear I'd bring him home, and no moment of ignorance will take that away." The audience saluted, the trumpet sounded. The sun shone over rows of white stones, each bearing a name or sacrifice, and Kyle's mother sobbed in her arms. A narrative it only took 6 minutes for fear to turn into failure, for disrespect to be met with unwavering honor, for one man's ignorance to be silenced by the disciplined, silent rage of those who serve. Therefore, before we conclude this story, never point a weapon at someone who has carried one in combat. Never mistake quiet strength for weakness. And remember that respect is earned and protected by those who have witnessed war up close. If this tale resonated with you, please subscribe to the channel and let us know in the comment where you are viewing. Press the like button and leave a karma comment underneath.